Hi everybody, just want to share my testimony today. It's something I've been avoiding for a long time, but I believe the Lord's put it in my heart to share. And I've watched a lot of different testimonies on YouTube, and they've been very helpful in my life. And just want to share a little something with you guys. I was born in a Christian home most of my life. I basically considered myself a believer, but I didn't live the lifestyle, and I didn't even really want to have anything to do with that. Um, Once I graduated and moved to the city, I started getting into drinking, and that kind of led to a depression. And the music that I listened to also kind of helped me take me to a place where I just wasn't happy with things. And of course, the first thing that people do is when they feel a bit depressed is they go to the doctor, and that's exactly what I did. And basically, over the course of 10, 15 years, I was prescribed 8 different medications, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 different medications, and it seemed to work for a while, and then it stopped working. And it got to a point where I was just tired of the whole system. And it was about that time also I started into the drugs. And I used to sell cocaine, and I used to do a lot of drugs, and I was basically hanging out with the wrong people. And with that depression and with the drug abuse and alcohol abuse, it kind of led to the next step in my life was addiction. And I got into painkillers, which seemed to help the depression. You know, that's probably the best form of antidepressant out there is a painkiller. Unfortunately, it's also toxic for you, and probably the worst thing as well. And I found myself battling a 5-year addiction to Oxycontin and opiates, and I got to a pretty bad place. And I started to realize that the whole system that I've been believing, the medical system, was a bunch of garbage. And I believe that the Lord was leading me to research spiritual warfare and addictions and the root of addictions and the root of mental illness. And He brought me to a place where I started seeking out a deliverance minister, and I started realizing that the real problem with my life, it wasn't really the drugs. There was and depression. There was a reason that I was doing the drugs, and there was a reason that I was depressed. And basically what happened was I started getting deliverance prayer. And over the course of a year, it took 4 different sessions of serious deliverance prayer that the final time I was set free from anger and depression. I woke up the next day after that prayer weekend, and I was a completely different person. The Lord transformed my life. I had a different attitude. I had no more anger. I had patience for the first time. And all that guilt that I lived with for most of my life was completely gone. The Lord set me free from depression, and what I learned was depression, it's not a chemical imbalance, which we're lied about, right? You go to the doctor and he says it's a chemical imbalance. Well, that's a complete pile of crap. Depression is a spirit. It's a spiritual thing, and the Lord totally delivered me. And also on a different occasion, this actually happened before my deliverance for the depression. I was battling, as I mentioned, Oxycontin, and the whole medical system. What their advice to do when you're addicted to Oxycontin or opiates is they put you on methadone. And I guess for some people this is fine, but you're basically substituting Oxycontin or morphine or heroin for methadone, which is just as addictive. Of course, you don't get the high, right? This is the whole doctor's. This is what their theory is. So they're going to put you on a different drug that doesn't get you high, but sometimes people are addicted to the methadone even longer than the original drug that they were addicted to begin with. So I was in and out of the methadone clinic, and I was tired of it. I was relapsing and going back, and I was on my last string at the methadone clinic. They said, you know what, this is your last chance here. And I said, okay, whatever. So I was tired of it. I had my methadone one night and basically said, I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm finished with this. And I said, in the name of Jesus, addiction be gone. I went to bed that night without taking my methadone, and I woke up the next day. And anybody who's tried methadone or anything like that, they know that this is something that you need, because if you don't get it, you're going to get sick. And I woke up that next day feeling actually fine. And as the day went on, I said, you know what, I wasn't having any withdrawals, I wasn't having any desires, and no joke, no word of a lie, from that point on, I was completely set free. As I said, I had no withdrawals, I had no desire to ever touch those drugs again. So basically what I learned from that is addiction is spiritual as well. It's a spirit of addiction that through, I don't know, sometimes I don't know exactly how it works, but I was set free in the name of Jesus. And I just want to share that with people, that if you're going to go through the medical system, the whole system is designed to keep you down. It's designed to keep you in bondage. It's designed to keep you on other meds, right? It's a tool of the enemy. The enemy wants you in bondage. The devil wants you in bondage. He wants you on drugs, and he's a complete liar. It says in the Bible that Jesus is our healer and that his name is above all names. And it's absolutely incredible what he's done with my life. He's basically taken me from a drug addict and a drug dealer to praying for people. And that was actually 4 years ago that I've been set free. And it's just, I just wanted to let people know that if you're going to put your faith in doctors, and I'm not knocking doctors, they're doing what they're told, but they go to med school and they're, which are basically run by the pharmaceutical companies. So you go into the doctor with a mental illness or an addiction, what do? They get out their little prescription pad, right? And they put you on some kind of medication. And it took me a long time to get fed up with that system. So here I am, I'm coming against that system, and I know most people, even Christians, think that, well, if I have these problems, I'll go to the doctor. Well, that's garbage. And I will take this and proclaim it for the rest of my life, that you don't need the medication. The Lord will set you free if you're truly genuine and if you persevere. It took me a year to get set free from the depression. And if I would have quit after the first time of receiving prayer when I didn't get it, I would still be depressed and I would still be on drugs. So the Lord sees you where you're at. If you have a broken heart, if you come to him with desire and perseverance, he will set you free. But you have to get fed up. You have to get tired of the position that you're in. And I know that anybody else out there who's struggling with this, Jesus is the answer. He is the way. So this is the first video, and I just hope to make more videos in the future. And if you have any concerns or comments or anything like that, just leave them and I'd be happy to answer them. And thank you for listening, and take care. Bye-bye.